What's going on? It's your boy Bowie back at it again. And I want to make a follow-up video to my most recent video concerning Mortal Kombat 11 titled NRS Get MK12 Right This Time. So, I stand by everything that I said in that video. Every syllable of what I said, was sincere and, all the way true. However, I don't want to, give the wrong impression about my attitude towards MK11 because, you have so many people that hate this game or they dislike the game or they think it's not fun or what have you. And, while, those people's opinions are their opinions and they have every right to feel the way that they feel, I want it to be known for the record that I don't share that opinion about this game. I quite enjoy MK11. I love what it stood for and what it tried to do. I just think it had a bunch of problems that undermined its overall mission. And I laid out a lot of those issues in great detail in the previous video and in videos before that. But in terms of what it was doing, how the meta is and how it plays and stuff like that, and its priorities, I completely stand by the direction that NRS went in terms of making the game more based on centralized mid-screen play, de-emphasizing 50-50s and the guessing game, giving characters unique crushing blow abilities that allow them to combo in unique circumstances when they wouldn't normally do so. I stand by having regenerating meter. I do like that. I like the idea of giving characters standardized wake-up attacks. I also stand by I also stand by making a concerted effort on behalf of NRS to desexualize the female cast members. I dig that a lot because having every female character 75% naked that's not a good look. I mean, it's cool for the moment, but as the game ages and stuff like that, it's not going to be looked at very fondly. It makes sense for certain characters, but not for most. And I just want to highlight not only that MK11 got a lot of things right, but I also want to highlight my main thesis, which is Mortal Kombat 12 should build from MK11, not be a referendum of MK11, because I don't care what the haters have got to say. This game did a lot of things right. A lot of things right. For one, the netcode in this game is absolutely stellar. Now, in these matches right here, I played these matches on Wi-Fi because I was using a gaming laptop and I didn't want to go through all the trouble of grabbing my aux cord, disconnecting my Wi-Fi and plugging it in and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to pick up and play, right? And you can do that if you want. It's just that, people shouldn't be forced to play against you if you play on Wi-Fi. That's something that MK11 needs in it. However, having said all of that, the quality of matches I was able to have as a Wi-Fi user on PC, it beats even a lot of wired connections, I should say, that I had in a game like MKX, and it definitely beats any kind of connection that MK9 had. You know, that's one of the reasons why MK9 shouldn't be strictly looked at with rose-colored glasses, like everything in that game was superior, because it wasn't. That netcode is atrocious. It was atrocious, still is atrocious. And at this point, we don't know if that's ever going to be fixed. You know, and that's why that game isn't being played right now. But this game here, people are going to keep playing this. Even after MK12 comes out, people are going to play this game because you can. You know? But, yeah. So, this game got netcode right. It needs to add a couple things, or I should say MK12 needs to add a couple things, such as a Wi-Fi filter, such as the ability to decline all Wi-Fi users in something like Combat League. If there's a Combat League for MK12, which there probably will be, we need to be able to decline people that are on Wi-Fi, like straight up, no matter what. They should be declinable. And you should have a certain threshold of connection, even if you're wired, in order for people to not decline you. Because what happens is sometimes people's connections are wired, but they're not very stable, or they're slow, which is just as bad as Wi-Fi sometimes. So, especially when the person comes from another continent, because there's a lot of Russian players and stuff, and I avoid them fools. I don't give a damn. I'm not playing somebody from another hemisphere with the way American internet is. You know, hell no. But anyway, so MK12 does need that. Also, I would say we need to get rid of the win percentage and win odds. As well as the records. Win percentage and win odds are the same thing. We need to get rid of the win percentage, and we need to get rid of the record, win-loss record, for casual play. It just needs to go. Because what happens is, the idea is supposed to be that casual play is supposed to be casual. It is practice. You're playing people for no stakes, just bragging rights. Why do you need to know the win-loss record of somebody you're playing casually? Why does the game need to tell you that you have a 83% chance of losing to this person that you're playing casually? You don't need to know that. It's a casual game. All that does is it discourages people from playing each other. Because now, and it's discouraged me from playing people too, because certain individuals who I see are like, 10,000 wins and 8,000 losses or whatever. I don't play them people because they play this game all day long and I don't. But really, I probably should be playing those people, and it would be nice if I didn't get a chance to discriminate. And it'd be certainly nice if other people didn't get the chance to discriminate against me. Because I barely even play this game, and people be declining me so bad, bruh. It's ridiculous. So MK12 needs to build on that. As far as the in-game meta, we can keep the strike throw meta of this game. We really can. Absolutely. We can keep it. We can keep, for MK12, the de-emphasis of 50-50s in terms of high-low mix-ups. I like that. This game had a good balance of characters that used the mix-ups versus those that didn't. And I appreciate that. We can keep KBs. Absolutely. I think KB should stay in Mortal Kombat because I think they add a lot to a character. They just need to be better balanced, and they need to be you know, more evenly distributed, because the one thing that this game had that was problematic was, you know, some characters barely did KBs at all. Meanwhile, other characters' KBs carried them. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Gearus, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, those characters are substantially better because of the kinds of KBs that they have access to and the number of KBs that they have access to. Meanwhile, characters like Johnny Cage, Scarlet, Shao Kahn, they barely get any KBs at all. And that's what makes them lower. Even a character like Rain, you know, Rain can barely rely on any of his KBs, you know, in his match on a consistent basis. You know, in any business where you have to have 2 custom moves put together to get 1 KB that a character can just drop out of, that's a bad move. And Rain has that problem too. But hopefully Mortal Kombat 12 doesn't allow you to... Well, hopefully it'll get rid of the breakaway system in general, so we won't have that issue. But anyway, point is, KBs need to be evenly distributed amongst the cast. Okay, and NRS needs to be more reflexive in handing out better KBs to the characters that need them. Because Johnny Cage would have been so much better if he could actually do more than 1 crushing blow. You know, other characters like that. Same thing with Shao Kahn. You know, same thing with a lot of characters. Like, so yeah, we need those crushing blows. I do think that even the throw KBs are good. We just need to make sure that there's only a few characters that have crushing blows on both throws. Not everybody needs that, but the characters that need it should, you know, they should be on the lower end. But that's in the future. This game was very good about balancing zoning and rushdown, I think. Even though a lot of people whine about zoning, and let me be clear, if you're a person that really gets triggered because people are zoning you out, you're a scrub. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there right now. Zoning is a completely legitimate fighting game tactic. There are characters that are designed to zone. They are not designed to fight up close the way that these two are fighting. And if a character is designed to zone, you need to understand that ahead of time and figure out how to get around it. That's your responsibility. And if you can't get around it, then you deserve to lose. It's that simple. Anyway, this game had a good balance of zoning to rush down. As a matter of fact, you might even be able to say that the zoning wasn't strong enough. But you know, the movement was good enough to where zoners could run away, but rushdown characters could advance. And they didn't stay out-zoned the whole match, so you had to zone intelligently. And so I really dig the balance of the zoning, and it's interesting that I'm talking about this because, you know, me and this Rust person are having a zoning battle right now. Oh, that was dumb. Oh, I didn't have no meter though. But yeah, yeah, the zoning to rush down ratio, or balance I should say, was pretty good. And I love how spacing matters. We need more of that. MK12 needs to build on that foundation. We might need some slightly faster backwards walk speeds, and we definitely need more consistent anti-airs. Okay, we need that. We need MK9 style anti-airs for MK12. Please, NRS, we need that. Okay? Yeah. Especially if you're going to have these characters that have some goofy-ass jump-ins like they do on this game and MKX. We need some immutable anti-airs. Alright? What else? Oh. I didn't talk about custom variations. I don't know how I feel about them. Whether they should be brought back for MK12 or whether we should go back to an MK9 style system. Frankly, I'm open to both. I do think the custom variation system added character to a lot of characters. It allowed you to customize a playstyle with a certain character and whatnot. But what happened in this game was a bunch of moves just weren't good, and they were never fixed to be good. And so, if you're going to do a variation system, NRS, you got to support it. And I'm not talking about for the first year and a half and then, throw us to the wolves. You got to support that shit for years. Years. I'm talking about 4 years, 5 years later, you need to be tweaking some moves. Every damn move that you add in a custom variation system should be at least useful. All of them. You shouldn't be adding any moves that are trash. We shouldn't have that, because otherwise that undermines your variation system. And so, for that reason, someone like me leans more towards, hey, let's just go back to the MK9 style, where characters didn't have variations. There was just one version of the character. They had a bunch of their special moves, and it was up to you to figure out how to use them and all that, and develop your style from there. I favor something like that because, again, if they still make sure that the special moves are good and useful, you can have a lot of variety even within the same character. Because, a good example would be Cyrax and MK9. Now I get it. Dude's broke. He's a leaky boat for a reason. But, you had different styles of Cyrax. You could play a more lame, patient, walking Cyrax that didn't use a lot of bombs in the neutral and just tried to do, vortexes and stuff. The actual word is vortices, but whatever. You could have a Cyrax like that, like sort of how DJT was. Or you could have a different kind of Cyrax that used a lot of bombs in the mid-screen to try to force a jump, and then you just play solid and stuff like that. You could do that with Cyrax, and you could avoid using the resets that Cyrax had. You could avoid them and still play Cyrax very well, because he just had ways to mess with you in the neutral. He also had 50-50s, and so if you wanted to use those, you could do that. All because every move that Cyrax had was useful, and it had a role, and the way that players put them together made the styles. And so if you do that with your cast, then you don't even need the variation system all that much. You just got to make sure their moves work and make sure your top tiers are balanced. Speaking of balance, MK11's roster was very balanced. I don't know if people understand that, but for the most part, the tier list was highly, highly balanced. You didn't have any characters that shouldn't be used in tournament. There were definitely characters that you had to have a secondary for, and there were certainly characters that had to work harder in order to win, but you could win with anybody. Like these two characters here, they were considered to be the worst characters in the game at a certain point in MK11 history. But I love Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's great. Ever since his last buffs, he ain't the worst character in the game no more. Not by a long shot. And even if he was a bottom 10 character, I get wins with him. Because if you just play solid, anti-air people, bait people, and don't do anything stupid, you can beat better characters. And so this game finally got that balance thing right, I think. Because even though characters like Fujin and Liu Kang and Cetrion, they're annoying as hell, it's not the case that, you know, any random Liu Kang and Cetrion that you run into is just going to mop you, because they don't. I've beaten many Liu Kangs. I've beaten more Liu Kangs than they've beat me, that's for sure. And I've beat them with Sub, I've beat them with Shao Kahn, I've beat them with Cage. You know, I've beaten them with Noob. I've beaten them with a lot of people. Because in this game, it's the player that makes the character in a lot of these instances. Same thing with Fujin. You know, Fujin's one of those characters that's difficult to use, so the average Fujin player that you run across is not going to be doing everything that Fujin can do, which means you can beat them. Same thing with Cetrion. A lot of the Cetrion players are going to zone, of course they are, but if you play solid and you're patient, you can get around a lot of that, and you can beat them. And, you know, MK12 needs to build on this foundation, because MK11 gets a lot of flack, but it doesn't get a lot of credit, or it doesn't get as much credit as it deserves for, you know, making sure that your average person that's playing this game online doesn't lose at the select screen the way that you used to lose at the select screen in MK9 and even MKX. Because I'm going to tell you, if you played MK9 and your ass picked Shiva online, you were gonna lose unless your connection was ass. Okay? If you pick Shiva and your opponent picks someone like Johnny Cage, someone like Katana, someone like Sonya, Kung Lao, you were just gonna lose. You might as well have put the controller down, because the result would be the same. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. Because Shiva, though she had a lot of things she could do, she could make no mistakes, or otherwise she would die. But in this game, your lowest character, they still can't make that many mistakes, but they don't necessarily lose at the select screen. They have winnable matches. Many winnable matches. If the player plays solid. And so this game was very good at that aspect. Now, that's at the highest level. Of course, at the intermediate level, which is where I would consider myself to be, you know, the tier lists don't matter nearly as much. I just have to practice playing solid, and if I play solid, I win. Look at that. Just walking back. Now, truth be told, this person, the Void here, he was, let's just say he was developing. That's probably the best way to describe his skill level. He was developing. And so, this is really not even a fair fight, to be honest. But, you know, he accepted, so he got the smoke. But, if I was fighting a more seasoned Rambo player, this would be a much more difficult match. And Rambo's the worst character in the game, according to a lot of people. So, yeah. What else? So yeah, we can keep the variation system, or we can go back to the MK9 style. NRS just needs to make sure that all of the character specials are useful. All of them should be useful. They should not have bad frame data. They should all have strengths. All of them. All of them should be useful in some capacity. They don't have to do everything for us, but they should be useful. All of them. Strings too. Same thing with your strings. It don't make no sense for a character like Sonya to have all them damn strings that she got, and the vast majority of them is garbage. You know what I mean? Like, we need useful strings. All of the strings should be useful, or they should not exist. Okay? I would rather them add useful strings to a character than, over time, than, have a bunch of strings for a character and 80% of them have no use. You know what I mean? Like, we can do without that. And so MK12 needs to build on this foundation. But yeah, people said this game was boring or whatever. It's only boring if... Well, I ain't gonna even say that. Because again, I'm not gonna sit here and try to invalidate nobody's opinion. But they mainly said the game was boring because, you didn't have a bunch of combo routes. And I understand that, because I said the same thing. I said in my previous video that NRS needs to give us our combat routes again. Give us our launchers, our launching strings for the majority of the cast. Give us our launching specials that you can just do. We need meterless launchers again. I like the idea of meterlessly being able to get 33% for most of the cast. Some characters get more, some get less. I like that. We need that again. And then the KBs allow us to go even more ham, and then the meters and the KBs allow us to even go more ham. We need that. There's no reason why that should go away. People think that's fun. And so, literally, if MK11 didn't de-emphasize combos and juggles, that would address one of the main concerns about the game. And so MK12 has a chance to rectify this. So we need our meterless launchers. We need our launching strings, our launching normals, and they need to be good. Okay? Because some characters like RoboCop, he has a launching normal. Problem is, it's a 16 frame high that's unsafe on block. So you're never going to use it. He has a launching string. Problem is, it's an 18 frame mid, and the second hit is a high, so you can duck it if you think that it's coming. And if you duck it, you get to punish him for free. That's not good. Those don't count. We need real launching strings and launching normals that are good and useful. That's one of the reasons why I like Shao Kahn so much, because he has back 3, which is a launching normal, and it's good as hell. He has 2 launching specials, his shoulder charge, and then he has the leaping hammer, which launches meterlessly, and he can use all 3 of those things in one combo. And he does, and he hits hard because he can use those things. He gets really good damage meterlessly, but then with meter, he gets almost 40% on some characters. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want. We want that from the whole cast, though. You know what I'm saying? People want to do that with their favorite characters. And so, if MK12 can deliver something like that, sheesh. For real, this game would be amazing. Especially if it decides to bring back the MK9 style neutral jump punches, where they relaunch for a combo and are not stupid like they were in MKX. If it can do that, boy, look at here. MK12 will be the bomb, bruh. Obviously the art style, the customization, the voice acting, minus Ronda Rousey and Dimitri Vegas. The environment and feel of this game, all that needs to be brought over to MK12 because this game looks gorgeous. And the 60 FPS, everything, 60 FPS cutscenes and crypt, mwah, chef's kiss, because it's gorgeous. We need all of that. Ooh, yes. Ooh, you stupid. Ooh. Yes. Ooh. But, sorry, I just got into the game for a second. Now, could MK12 afford to be a little bit of a faster pace than this game? Sure, maybe. But that doesn't mean give us a run button. Hell no. We need to leave MKX in the dust. This game doesn't really need to transfer much of anything from MKX. The majority of features from past MK games that should be returning should stem from MK11 and MK9. You know, I listed quite a few of them. You know, MK9 jump-ins, MK9 neutral jump punches, MK9 creativity, and combo routes, and launchers, and all that. MK11 damn near everything else. MK9 customization, MK11 customization, MK11 graphics, voice acting, intros, brutalities, outros, normals, movement, MK9 anti-airs, MK11 fatal blows, minus the stupidity of them returning if they whiff, MK11 meter system, MK9 breakers, wake ups, a mix between this game and MK9's. Because like I say, I like the universal wake ups of up 2, up 3. I think that can return. But we need tech rolls again. We need tech rolls. Because there's no reason why characters should be able to do like a specialized roll and forwards and roll backwards and stuff where you can get a full combo on somebody for trying to do Oki. We don't need that. So we need MK9 tech rolling and MK9 delayed wake up where it was just down. You could just hold down and you did a delayed wake up. Damn, I stole that shit. Damn, what? But then also you should be able to pick somebody up off the ground if they're doing a delayed wake up. Because in MK9, if someone was delaying, what you could do is you could just do down 3 and it would stand them up. You know, so you have counterplay to delayed wake up. You see? That was one of the brilliant things that a lot of people don't even talk about. But yeah, you could do that. And we need hard knockdowns and soft knockdowns. That way, some knockdowns you can't tech roll from. You just gotta get up normally. But tech rolling is a skill that I got from Smash Brothers, where you get knocked down from a combo and you recover early. That way you can retaliate as quickly as possible. That's the skill that should have always stayed in Mortal Kombat. And it can come back in MK12 if they do a mix of MK9 and MK11. MK11 practice mode, MK11 features. One neat thing I think MK12 could benefit from is, you know how we had AI battles and stuff? And you could customize your variations and, you know, they would develop their combos and you could make the AIs battle each other. In MK12, that can be expanded upon to let us be able to battle against our own AIs. And the AI should do the combos that we record, or do the combos that are performed on us by people playing online. You know, because I would have loved to fight an AI Jax that does my combos on me. It'd be beautiful. Because now you're rewarding people for playing the game and doing combos by giving them a more rigorous AI to play against. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let this thing loop too, because I don't give a damn. This gameplay is tight. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip ahead though, because you know what? No, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna skip ahead later. But yeah. So we need an expansion of that. We don't need any goddamn what you call those things? Those little perks or modifiers. Yeah, modifiers. They can stay gone, to be honest. They need to bring back Test Your Luck from MK9, where you could just play a never-ending stream of computers that don't increase in difficulty, and you could just play and learn your character. I think that's terrific, you know. And then you have your little modifiers and your all that, and you could choose the number of modifiers, because in MK9 what you could do is you could play Test Your Luck, right, against the computers, and you could pick the number of modifiers that appear in the match. And I would always pick 2. One of the modifiers chooses your opponent, and then you have 1 modifier. So if your modifier was like Rainbow Combat, you're basically having a basic ass match, which I think is good. That's how you get better at the game. That's how you practice combos. That's how you get comfortable with a character without having to worry about stakes. You know what I mean? So something like that should make a return, because MK9 had a lot of great ideas, and MK11 had a lot of terrific ideas as well that were, for whatever reason, abandoned, and NRS doesn't need to do that. Now, MKX had some good ideas too and all that, you know what I'm saying, but MKX, a lot of its good ideas went towards character offense and ridiculous 50-50s and stuff, and we don't need those coming back. And a lot of the ideas that were innovated in MKX, MK11 kept them. Character intros, character outros, brutalities, interactables, all that stuff stayed. Speaking of interactables, frankly, I wouldn't mind if they didn't come back. I wouldn't mind if they didn't come back, but if they do come back, they need to be limited. Even more limited than they were in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be some stages that don't have interactables at all. Speaking of stages, we need to go back to the MK9 style, in which stages had different lengths. Because in MK9, the pit was one of the shortest stages in the game. And so zoners didn't want to fight on the pit. However, Rooftop Day was the longest stage in the game. So you could go to Rooftop Day and you could zone your life away. And so Rushdown players didn't want to be on that stage. That adds depth to the game. And so we need that medium, long, extra long, short stages, because that makes them even more unique. I think what happened was all the stages became standard sized, and so it's like meh. So we need that. Is there anything else? I know there's more, because I'll look at the video later and be like, damn, why I didn't talk about this? You know, as far as customization goes, we can build from the MK11 system. It just needs to be refined, because Some of the customization options on a character were just all but useless. Like, and we need more than just palette swaps of the same outfit. We need actual different ass outfits. You know, the artists at NetherRealm Studios be coming up with some dope ass costume ideas for characters, and the majority of them never make it in the game. And it's like, my G, let them boys and girls do their thing. Let that art make its way into the game. Let us decide what parts we want from which, and give us a color wheel and let us pick the colors that we want for the different items and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you want to make a Sub-Zero. You want the costume to be blue, but you want the mask to be red for some reason. We should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. That's real customization. Because people will just make the best costumes, and that'll be the way they play the game. Or that might encourage them to play the game more because they can pick the different colors and stuff. I like that idea. Let's say they wanted to make a pink Sub-Zero. I've seen that. You know what I mean? Or a damn, I don't know. Or a Shao Kahn that appears in all black. Or Raiden that appears in all black. That'd be dope. Let us do that. Let us do that. Because other fighting games are already doing it. You know? But all in all, what I'm basically saying is NRS has so many great ideas that they put in various games, you know, but for whatever reason, they have this harebrained idea that they have to erase a lot of stuff and try to reinvent the wheel and start from scratch. You don't need to do that. This game's been out for 30 years. You have 30 years of lore and history to borrow from. Borrow from it because it's rich. That's why so many of us loved MK9, because those games were lifted directly from MK1, MK2, and MK3. The characters, the music, the moves, all of it was familiar. But then they added things that we didn't, we weren't able to use before. That's brilliant. We need more of that. We don't need to have things taken away and removed, like tag combat. People like tag. Even if they didn't play it, they liked it. They want to be able to say that they can play it. And I will tell you, I love being able to play tag combat personally, because when I bring my laptop into class, like in the last day before break with my students, tag combat is the only way that 4 people can play Mortal Kombat. Any other time, it's only 2 players. So for that reason, tag combat should never be missing from a Mortal Kombat title again. Just my personal opinion. But I put it like this. If you don't learn anything else from this video, anyone that's, connected to NRS, or random person watching, or NRS employee, I'll say this. When it comes to video games and options and all that, people much prefer addition and multiplication than subtraction. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it is better to provide more options and more choices than to take things away. More features, more combos, more strings, more of this, more of that. Options. You are much better off adding things, or multiplying things, or enhancing things than taking them away. And if you are in a situation where you have a fork in the road, and you gotta choose between one unique option and another unique option, give players the choice. Give players the motherfucking choice. Please give us the choice. Give us the choice. Give us the choice. Because you're obviously not going to please everybody. So if you pick one, you're going to have another segment angry. But if you provide both options in the game and you make it balanced, or as balanced as you can, then it's like, okay, you've appeased everybody for the most part. Or at least you made your best effort to do it. You know what I mean? So addition and multiplication is better than subtraction. Much better. MK9 had a lot of addition because they kept all the stuff from MK1, 2, and 3, and then they added things. You know? MKX was not looked at so fondly because so many things were removed. The good-ass movement was removed. The terrific anti-airs that MK9 had were removed. The emphasis on mid-screen gameplay was removed. You know, so many things were taken away. Now, things were added too, like a lot of combo diversity and rushdown diversity was added, but in terms of gameplay archetypes that were successful, that was removed because you didn't have too many premier zoners. You know, because most characters played by rushing your ass down and 50-50ing you to death. Even the zoners did it. You know? It's just that they could also zone while doing those things. And so MKX had a lot of subtraction to it. And unfortunately, MK11 had some subtraction as well. Or had a lot of subtraction because you subtracted juggling and combo versatility and things of that nature. But MK12 can be better. MK12 can learn from all those mistakes. Or it can be the culmination of NRS learning from those mistakes. Because I'll say this about MK11. The reason why this game is so frustrating is because it was almost there. It had so much potential. All the potential in the goddamn world. You know? Mad potential. Overflowing with potential. It just didn't reach it. But MK12 can reach that potential though. NRS just has to make it happen. But with that being said, you guys, I'm going to cut this video off. I appreciate y'all listening to your boy rant for 48 some odd minutes. So, be easy.